what I wanted to say about the next step of the Buddha teaching in terms of uh, how do we understand the Shuddhi of Chitta. So first thing you need to understand is there is something called as personality. So we all have personality. Agree? I don't think so. There is anybody who can say I don't have a personality. So
yeah, when you have a person, it's called you have a personality. Yes.
Yes, when you have a person, it is personality. So we have one fixed personality which is considered as self, and one personality which is varying, and that we call it as emotion. Again, repeat what I said. There is one fixed personality, what we consider as ourselves, and there is one variable or moving personality which we call it as emotions. The illusion, the Maya, is that fixed personality, which is fixed in the mind that I exist. Or the question comes that I don't exist. Or do I exist and do I don't exist? So all these questions comes. The existence as existence of Chit is totally different than this Chitta which is trying to exist. So we basically take, when we say we, it means all the personalities in the world taken together, grouped into two parts. One, I don't like this. Two, I like this. And taking this further, we get something called as views and opinions. And views and opinions then create something called as concepts. So basically, everybody's self, this personality, creates this illusion of I don't like, I like, I am feeling, I am doing this, I am doing that, with opinions and views. And the person views what he wants to view. He doesn't want to view what he doesn't want to view. So that means again it comes with raga and dvesha, which is attraction and repulsion, which is again we can call it as I don't like this and I like this. And for bringing out that, we create in our mind something called as a concept, so that a story can be narrated. So basically, we are interested in story. A big problem is the epic, and a smaller versions of that are the story. So generally, our big problem is food, shelter, clothing, medicine. When we come to food, we have the physical food which we eat and the sensual food which we want to enjoy. Okay, then when we come to clothing, the physical clothing, what we want to be, and the mental clothing, which is how I want to present myself to the society or to whomever I'm going to interact with. So I should have a good personality where people will appreciate me. So that is the clothing. Then comes to shelter. The physical shelter, the home I want to reside, and the mental shelter of security from any kind of disturbances. And medicine, the physical medicine, what we want to have, and the personality medicine, which we call as personality traits. We can call it as emotional intelligence, we can call by various names, and we have so many concepts, which is right way of doing and wrong way of doing. Then presentation skills and motivation and this and that is part of this mental medicine, because This person is supposed to be presenting to the society at large. So basically, instead of giving up the personality, which is what is liberation, we literally take the personality as me and myself and mine. So when we look at a particular object, both in physical sense and in mental sense, we fail to see that there is this consciousness, which is Chitta, which already has the memory. So it knows what to pick. And the person feels, I am picking it. And keeps on rotating itself that I like this feeling, I don't like this feeling, I like this object, I don't like this object. As an example, today we have two problems. One is this corona as a problem, and two is that we can't go out. That's another problem. The first problem, how do we really address? So we are waiting desperately for somebody to invent the vaccine, believing that with that vaccine everything will become all right. Then we want to go out. So we are doing all the things to go out of our home or wherever so that the life, normal life, can be led. So this personality would enable us to do that. And when that doesn't happen, the fixed personality, what we have created, which can be with raga, attraction, dvesha, repulsion, moha is in relation to I exist, creates fractional way of looking at things. So basically, I would like this to work and I don't want that to work. So I will do something to make that work, the thing which is not working. So let's say, can I take my car out and go to some place and stay there where there is no corona? Just one way of doing it. So the person takes all kind of effort to do that, not realizing that this chitta already has this corona in every chitta. And that's the reason he's reacting to that. And then he wants to go out, but when he wants to go out, there is fear of catching the very thing which he doesn't want to catch. So there is emotions. So this variable kind of personality is the emotion. It comes in various forms. It can come with happiness, it can come with sadness, it can come with frustration, it can come with ego, it can come with um, feeling restless and worried, fun, whatever it is. So these emotions can come up and start torturing the one which is supposed to be fixed. But that fixed one is also variable. It depends on the situations. But I don't want that situation. So now there is a fight in the chitta between what should exist and what shouldn't exist. So we're going on two paths. One which doesn't want to exist, but it exists. Another one, it exists, but it shouldn't be existing. So now we have this fight going all the time in the mind. And basically nobody understands that this personality is temporary and it doesn't have any reality. It is just fabricated in the mind. So the person goes on inventing different views and opinions to make that fixed self strong, because he feels that he himself is feeling something. So in the morning, when Bhatt was explaining about Shatabdani Ganesh, a feeling will appear in my mind that you are also capable of doing it one way, you are not capable of doing it is another way, and if you put in right effort, you can become something like him is another way. You should also become famous is another way. So there's so many things which comes. All of these are the fabrication in the mind, in the chitta. Instead of calling mind, let's use the word chitta. A set of chittas tell me that what Bhatt is saying is correct. So I too know all of this, so I should be doing that. One. Two, oh, what he says is correct, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to become famous. It's another way of doing it. But now, in the first case, there is raga, attraction. In the second case, I have dvesha. And this dvesha can be of two categories. One, I'm feeling jealous of that person because I've not become popular as yet. Two is that I want to become, but I don't know whom to approach. So there's no godfather. So that is the irritation. And the third one, how do I acquire it? With so many languages and so many ways of doing things, I want to acquire. So this fixed I wants to exist so that it can be garlanded with something and said that you know so many good things, and so many people will then start following. And that helps me to recognize that not only I exist, but the emotions with which I started, that is raga and dvesha, also coexist. So this is how the chitta works. If I am a good meditator, what I'm going to do? I'm going to not go by this self view, fixed self view, but I would congratulate that person's ability because of his enormous dedication of his current and past deeds, and also his past lives and deeds, and through which he has got it. And no matter how famous and how whatever a person can become, it ultimately becomes just a memory. That's the truth. Even if I were to speak or whatever I'm speaking right now, after an hour or so, all that I've spoken is in the memory. And even if I were to share this YouTube video, whomever is seeing it, they're seeing it post, not pre, not in the current. So it's already a dead piece of meat. So with somebody it might help, somebody it might not help, but it is still a memory. Looking at this memory, what happens? The self view keeps on reducing. The fixed personality, which I believe I am, starts to reduce or starts to give way, starts to melt, and its associated emotions also starts to diminish. It doesn't create those attraction and repulsion tendencies. And because there is no attraction and repulsion tendencies, the attachment towards self is not there. Otherwise, it would be like I myself should learn this because it is so good, or it is so bad, or whatever it is. So, this can be applied for anything, whatever we do in our day. So we have one fixed personality. Let us not call it as Atma or self or anything. We have one personality. We have a sub personality which reacts to that personality's behavior. So if the people appreciate me for what I know or what I am because they're seeing my personality, then it is good. So the emotions will get a positive note which can be called as lust or can be called as lobha, as greed, because these two will increase that personality's way of working. So we keep on asking people, can you tell me what is my uh, what is my current state? So the person will say your current state is that you're doing this, you're not doing that, so I'm giving you a feedback. Maybe if you do this way, it's going to help. Now that is fed into the emotions. So I like something he said, I don't like something he said, but I don't know how to see that I can only see the emotions, but I cannot see that I, because it's fixed. It comes and goes along with the emotions. That's the fun part of it. So when somebody gives me that feedback, I would say give me negative feedback because I know I've done it very well. But when the person really pinches me hard with negative feedback, so we have used another word called as constructive feedback. We don't want to use negative. We want to say, give me a very constructive feedback. Give me a way I can improve myself. And all, see again the word what we use, improve myself. How can you improve yourself unless you have a self? So we all have self. That means we can improve ourself. But that ourself has emotions. So somebody will say, you know what, you in this meeting you were laughing. Instead of laughing, you should have been very serious because we were discussing a very serious matter. So please change your attitude. So now where does he change that attitude? Now this becomes a big problem. So we try to hide the emotions when we are in the office, when we are at home, when we are at wherever we are. We would like to change our emotions. So we create two personalities. One personality which is ourselves and one personality for outside. And both are same actually, but we condition this personality. And so is the first personality is also conditioned. It is conditioned from the past, the remnants of the vasanas. But then that is superseded by this personality, which will then cover that up beautifully. So now you have two personalities. So whenever we try to reflect something, we have one guy saying one thing and another guy saying another thing in the mind. So now this person is confused. Which person is confused? There's nobody there to get confused. But I feel I'm getting confused. Should I do this or should I do that? My mind says do this, then my mind says do that. I'm not able to really uh, decide which one should I do. So then I go and talk to my friend, and the friend says, you should do this, not that. I'm not that convinced that what he's saying, because his personality view is saying that what I'm doing is wrong and what he's saying is right. Then I go to another person, and I go to another person, like that, till I get the answer what I am expecting, that fixed I is expecting, which wants to be secure in one way or the other, because there is a threat now of that I going away. So it wants to safeguard. So somebody will say, what you're doing is right. But maybe a little bit of modification here will work. So then the threat is gone. It's there, but it's little. So now there is a positive emotions coming into this mind's eye, and this person takes that action, safeguarding his personality. So somebody were to come and say you are not a good person, then immediately a justification will come. Tell me why. Then he would say, you only said, tell me all those things which are not good with you. I don't want anything which is going well. I want to know what things are not going well. So I'm giving you all of this as feedback. I don't realize that it is his personality and it is his viewpoint, it is his opinion, and it is his way of looking at things. I now want to convince him that's not the way I am. I am like this, and I'm doing this for the benefit of the organization or to the society or to this or that or whatever. So, this is how the chitta is completely fabricated. Not the chit we are talking about, the chitta, the individual stream of consciousness. Now, what does Buddha say on this? I gave you this preamble just to be aware of how this works. So now we will go into detail of describing what it is. So this personality, the person feels. Now there is a feeling. He feels that there is a form. I have a form. Personality has a form. And presently it is finite. What is finite means it is limited. And it is minute. It has to grow. So there is a lot of progress for this personality to grow. There's a scope for improvement. So I would do something to make that work. And this personality is there in the physical form, sitting inside and guiding me. Now, who is this me? Me is that personality who is sitting. Okay, then who is the person who is reacting? Oh, that's my emotion. I have a very emotional turmoil. My parents are used to be angry, and that DNA has come in me, so I'm angry. It's not that I'm really angry, it is because it is there in my DNA. Oh, you're anxious. Oh, no, yeah, I'm anxious because of this reason I'm anxious. But there's a potential to change that. But right now, it is not so because it is finite. So, this self, or rather the personality, is in the physical form right now with me, and it is finite. Another set of people feel that this physical form is me as a personality, and I have infinite amount of information. I can speak different languages, I know different customs, I have visited different countries, I have understood different philosophies, I have done this, I have done that. So I'm infinite. You ask me anything you want, I can explain to you. Absolutely wonderfully, I can explain. So I am in the physical form with infinite resources. You don't know how much information I have. Sky is the limit, or in fact, I've gone beyond the sky. You ask me, I can tell you. These are the two views. So, one, a physical entity is this personality, but presently finite. If the right opportunities provided, I can become infinite. I can learn many things. Then this personality is within physical form, and right now I have infinite information. Then the third one, I don't believe that I exist in this body. This personality is not in the body, the personality is in the mind. And presently, my mind is finite, it's yet to grow, and I'm giving enough opportunity for the mind to grow. Same way, I don't have this personality with any physical entity. I don't consider it as physical, I consider it as more non material, or rather, doesn't have these five elements as a bondage, and I feel infinite. So, this is the way one describes oneself if were to be asked. How do you know what's your personality? I'll say, I'm this, I want to be that. So, most of the people, if we were to ask today, what do you want to become? They'll give a laundry list of things they want to become. Who wants to become that personality? And who is that personality? I am. And who is that I am? That emotions plus this person. And as long as he has this impressions called as vasana, that I am is going to exist. That personality is going to exist. So we hate certain personalities and we love certain personalities. And if somebody says that I don't want you to be in this personality, we do all our things to change the personality, because we think the personality can be changed. The emotional values are changing because that personality view has not changed, but it is camouflaged by different set of emotions. So this person, basic personality trait is this, which only his family members or her family member knows, who have seen how this person is. But for the outside world, he can remain so beautiful. So the Westerners have created a very nice way of doing things. So when they are outside on the road, most of them behave civilized because they have created a, a personality which everybody will have to adhere to. They can't have their own personality. In the Asian countries, as in India and Sri Lanka, or in other countries like Bangladesh or in Pakistan or all of these countries, and Burma, you'll find people the way they are. So we find them uncivilized because they are of their own personality. They have not modified the personality. So, in general, we would like to be that because presently we are this. If right opportunity is provided, we will definitely become that. If that is not possible in this life, then in the next life I would like to be that. So let us say there is an artist and he has performed in so many places, but he still feels that there's so much to learn, so much to contribute. He feels one life is not enough for my personality. I have to grow. Okay, fantastic. Take another life. Yes, definitely. I would love to take another life and do the same thing, but that basically is my personality. So every personality comes with a deluded mentality that I am this personality. It comes with I should be this and I should not be that. So this applies to food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. All the four requisites. So this person is literally running round and round and round to satisfy that personality. Now, there are people who believe that I am neither this form and not minute or not infinite or not finite. They go on the other extreme. They disregard the personality. They say that this is, I don't agree that there is a personality. What exists is this body and a set of emotions. When the body goes away, that emotions goes away, so everything is gone. So he or she feels that this personality is neither with a form and it is finite as its attributes, nor I consider it as infinite because I don't know. I'm not able to search for that. Same thing with the other two formless. I don't believe there is a form, but there is something called as an attribute. I don't know what are these attributes. It keeps on changing, so I'm not really aware that what is happening. So that person does not describe in the present or consider in a future to be in this way or that way. Or he doesn't come up with I shall do in a particular way. Or try to change the attributes of form to formless and from finite to infinite or in any other way around. Because he is one person was sure that he is in the form, another person feels that I don't know, I might be in the form, I might not be in the form. I might be formless also, but I don't know because whenever I start searching for this I'm not able to find. So, this is the way a person sees the personality. Now, there is something on feeling. When coming into feeling, the person believes that he is seeing, he is hearing, he is tasting, he is touching, he is smelling, or he or she, whichever the gender we are going to talk about. So, a person feels myself is with feeling. Everything I am doing, I have a feeling. Yes, I am able to feel a pleasant sensation on my body. And that's what I want. And I'm feeling a painful sensation on my body. That's not what I want. But it is there. I'll change it. I'll change it. I'll change my posture. I'll change the place. I'll drive. I'll do something, but I want to change. And there's something called as neither painful nor pleasurable that I don't know what it is. But I only know these two. That is, I am presently feeling pleasurable, that has to continue, and I'm feeling painful, that should not be there. Any painful sensation I shouldn't have. So there are two ways of doing it. One way, distract and do something else. So the personality then distracts itself into something so that the painful situation is removed. Let's say we have this COVID problem, another place doesn't have a COVID problem, so I will drive from here to there. Best thing. I'll take all my money required, and then I'll drive and go there, because I believe that pain is now gone, because that place which I was residing was a problem. Now that I have driven hundreds of kilometers, I have left that problem there, and now in this place it is pleasurable. So I have changed from the pain to pleasure, because there is a feeling. Now there is another way which happens. I'm not able to feel any, I'm not able to have any feeling. That personality is not able to feel any feelings, but is able to sense the feeling. It's able to sense that this is coming from so and so concept, or so and so ideology, or so and so mindset, or so and so look and hear and touch and taste and all that. That I am able to sense, but right now I am not getting that feeling, whatever I want it to get. So let's say that we are listening to a music, and there was an expectation how this song is going to be, because there was so much of uh, positive feedback about that song. So I thought somehow I need to see that or hear that. So now I am hearing. I'm able to sense it. This person has done very well, but I'm not getting that feeling, what they are getting the feeling. So myself is without that feeling, and also but able to grasp through senses. Another set of people will feel myself is neither with feeling and able to grasp with senses. Okay. Now, this person has gone to a company to work. Why did he go? Because there was a feeling and he was sensing that that opportunity is good. And both he is not able to feel. Meaning, what he anticipated would give him that result is not happening. So he's not able to feel, nor is able to sense it. The next one is something to do with I have feeling and I'm able to sense it through the attributes of that feeling. Meaning to say, if the sugar is tasty or sweet, it should be tasty, because sugar is being told that it is tasty, because sweet is tasty, salt is not tasty. But this is a powdered sugar, looks like salt. Now what should I do? The moment I put it in the mouth, it should taste the taste what I have about sugar. It can be sweet, but it should taste what I have in my memory. The last time I had this sugar, it was tasting nicely. So I believe that this self is with feeling and has attributes associated with that. Now, how do we see this in the personality between the form and the formless and the feeling? So, if one were to feel and say that I am feeling it, then the question is of three kinds. Is it pleasurable? Is it painful? Or is it neutral? So he says pleasurable. Wow, good. Then what about the pain and the neutral? It's not there. That means at any point in time, that personality can only feel one, not all the three. If it is painful, he can never feel pleasurable and neutral. If it is neutral, he cannot feel the pleasurable and painful. And it is dependent on the object what he is sensing. That is, if he's seeing a flower and it is the type of flower he had in his mind, just like I can give another good example here. There's something called as Valley of Flowers. It is in Uttarakhand, and people go for trekking. They would love to be there because they have a feeling that the flower over there are beautiful, and because of the colors, not because they're beautiful, because they're beautiful. They're beautiful because of two things. One is the color, another one is the smell. So Gandha and Rupa. So this person from Bangalore will go to Dehradun. From then he will catch a train, go to Haridwar, and then he will go to Joshimath, and then he will trek for a few kilometers to go and see this flower. Now, he has seen it on the internet, photographs which shows those flowers. It's been marketed. Valley of Flowers, beautiful place to be, and all that. Now he's so much engrossed in it that he wants to visit that place and sense it. What if the mind, what he had, those flowers as photograph, is not there when he sees those colors? He gets immediately the painful feeling. And he will start cursing his journey from Bangalore to Joshimath because it's dependent on that condition. What if it is pleasurable? Yes, the photograph what he has seen is exactly the photograph what he has got. So now he finds it pleasurable. In the whole crowd, let us say there are 10 people. Would all the 10 feel the same? No. Some of them will feel it as neutral. They don't have pleasurable and painful feeling. They'll say, yeah, flower, okay, it's all flowers. A person who loves flowers and like a botanist, and he would like to go deeper into what flower it is and how does it germinate, what are the pistil, stamen, and how the bees would come or what kind of insect will come and how it sucks, this, that, all of that person would find every flower pleasurable. There's no painful sensation because he's come for that purpose. Then there are people who have come there for a particular color and a particular smell. They are not interested in other flowers. For them, those flowers exist, don't exist, they don't care. Only those flowers which are having that smell and that color and texture are the ones they want. Okay, so that makes it pleasurable if they find or when they find. And there are people who have just come to understand what is this value of flowers. So they can get into neutral, they can be in pleasurable, they can be in painful, depending upon what condition throws up at that point in time. Because that feeling is dependent on that condition. So when they collect photographs, and if you see that everybody will collect photographs of that place and they take selfie and all that, what are they really carrying? Memory. Where is the flower? Not there. He has tons of photographs. But what happened to the flower? Not there. So, at any point in time, mind can get only one feeling, and mind loses its personality the moment it gets that feeling. And that's the reason when we go on trek, when we climb up to the top, we forget ourselves. Why? Because the personality is gone. So we would love to enjoy that all the time. So we find challenging assignments in life just to forget that personality. And when the personality is not there, you are already divine. So all of this, whatever we are doing, can be bungee jumping, can be gliding, can be kayaking, can be trekking, can be swimming, can be working, can be career, can be this, that, whatever human being has found is to forget the personality. Instead, he develops the personality and is stuck. So those people who are outdoor oriented, like in trekking or in swimming or something where the physical exertion is required, and they keep on trekking and trekking and trekking, and then comes the pass where they have to cross the pass. And pass crossing is normally tedious. You have to climb and climb and climb. It's a deepest climb. And when he stands on top of that mountain, he forgets himself or herself for few minutes because he doesn't have the energy to keep that self, because there is no feeling. Without a feeling there cannot be anything called as self. Now he's exhausted, just want to be there in that moment of 1 second, half a second, or many seconds or minutes. Person becomes one with nature. So the personality is gone. Along with the personality, the feelings are also gone. Feeling of raga, that is gone. Feeling of dvesha is gone. And feeling of myself is also gone. For that moment, for that limited moment, in every sense we have that. When we see through eyes and hear the sound through ears, nose, smell through the nose, taste through the tongue, touch through the body, and the thoughts which comes in the mind. When a person goes through a thoughtless state, there is no personality. So what we can understood out of it is that every conditioned thing is dependent. Only when things are unconditioned, it is called as reality. So as long as it is conditioned, it arises and passes away. The feeling arises and passes away. The self arises and also passes away. Meaning the self here is the personality. Taking personal of something is personality. I am feeling this. You can never find you without feeling. You have to feel. And then only that I will exist. If you remove the feeling aside, I is not there. And that's the reason when they do the first time bungee jumping, there is nothing to feel. And hence, there is no self, personality. The next time he wants to jump, the chittas have already memorized the whole jump. I exist. So now it knows what to expect. So either it expects the same thing or a different thing. When it gets the same thing, it gets bored because it has already mastered. So even in our software development or whatever technology, whatever has been invented, the first time the person invented, there was no self, personality. But when he started marketing, there became the personality. I am doing it. So, whatever the personality is created will arise and pass away. And it is not only that, it is conditioned, thoroughly conditioned, not just conditioned, conditioned by something or the other. And then it is dependently originated. And that interest fades away automatically. And not only it fades away, it changes to something else then. So now I have finished the bungee jumping. So why don't I go on the helicopter and jump from there? That's a different experience. Oh, I've been trekking all along in the Himalayas. So I want to trek in Colorado, or I want to trek in this place. I want to do now mountaineering. I think trekking is not that exciting anymore. I think mountaineering is better. That gives me more adrenaline rush because he wants to forget himself. Look at the pain he's taking to do that. Then something happens is that he cannot sustain that. Like people who go on Everest, the time allocated is only 15 minutes maximum without losing your body. Maximum you can stay on Mount Everest with oxygen bottle is 15 minutes to the top. For that, they are practicing for 2 years. So they have to go from the base camp to the advanced base camp, then to the first, second, and then the Hillary step, and then go and top of that mountain. But he cannot sustain. He has to come down. He cannot do anything. Even in the career, the person can go to the top, but then he has to come down or she has to come down. There is no way the person can retain that. Then that opportunity doesn't really promise to exist all the time because that's the nature. Every morning creates evening, nothing that can be done. You can love evening, you can love morning, but you cannot make the morning to stay forever and the evening to stay forever. Not possible. So, if a person were to say that I am not feeling anything and I cannot feel the senses, would that mean you don't exist? And the answer will say, no, I exist. I feel I exist. Oh, you feel you exist. So, what is this feeling then? It's a neutral because it is yet to change from neutral to pleasurable or painful. And if one says that this personality does not have a feeling nor can feel the senses, however, it can feel itself, meaning it can feel itself as a personality. And it has attributes of that feeling, how it should be. Oh, this is painful and this is pleasurable. The painful feeling should be of this type and this kind of intensity. The pleasurable feeling will be of this kind and this type and this kind of intensity. And the question can be asked, if there were to be a neutral feeling, where is yet to become a pleasurable feeling or a painful feeling. Or that person doesn't have any memory whatsoever on that feeling of pleasurable and painful. Or he has not yet experienced that feeling. Would they be able to identify their personality? So, this way of looking is also wrong. Now, what is the right way of looking? This is the last step of jumping. The true self, not the personality, the true self does not have any feeling. It just exists. It doesn't feel, it doesn't indulge, it doesn't comment, it doesn't question, it doesn't do anything. The personality feels, whereas that which doesn't have a personality doesn't feel and doesn't have an attribute of feeling this or that. Meaning to say, it doesn't have I like this and I don't like that. Just like a sun falling on the grass and also falling on a home, falling on everywhere, or the sky, whichever example we can take. That true self is personality independent. So when he considers that the feeling is something not being felt, like this karta and bhokta, only with the feeling can come the personality. If there is no feeling, there is no personality. So as long as I am feeling, so long is the personality. The moment I give up the feeling, naming the feeling as painful and pleasurable, and accepting feeling as a feeling, not my feeling, just a feeling, whether I feel or he feels or she feels or whoever feels, it is still a feeling. Then this personality is gone forever, revealing the true self, which is devoid of any personality. And because of that, the feeling was creating this attachment. I like it, I don't like it, and I want it to be this way. It is that way. This is my opinion, this is my view, this is my concept, because that my, I, and my is part of that feeling. If you cannot add a feeling, when I do a trekking for long distance, nobody asked me to do that. It's my feeling which pulled the mind there. The chittas feel. It's not I feel, the chittas feel, whether it is my chitta or his chitta or somebody's chitta, all have feeling and all have personality. Good personality, bad personality, ugly personality, all that is relative. But it is just a personality and just a feeling. So anyone going on trekking will have a feeling, a good feeling or a bad feeling, and a neutral feeling. If this person were not to expect anything at all and just go neutral, then he realizes that there is no personality. If a person puts a particular kind of thing of four elements, Prithvi, Apo, Vayu, Tejo, gets attached to it, that he is trekking and he is enjoying the trekking and he is suffering from the trekking, that means he has that personality view. So when the personality view is there, it's going to create the raga and dvesha. Only when he reaches the top of the mountain and he is given up, that very moment of 1 second or a half a second, the personality is not there. And he doesn't know what he is seeing, basically. But he has forgotten himself. And that's a wow moment. Wow. And if somebody were to ask, what is that wow? He cannot explain. Because he has not attached to the world. Does not get bewildered or get overwhelmed by seeing it because he cannot express. But the next moment he gets overwhelmed. Wow, I'm seeing it, I had seen this picture. Then he's again come back to his self, personality. That moment when he forgot every given thing, everything means including his family or her family, the problems going on in the world, the job he or she is doing, then the effort he has taken to climb up there, all of that is forgotten. In that bliss is this ananda. Now that is pure existence, which existed even without this person. That is the personality. Now he's seeing it without personality. He doesn't make it personified as himself or herself. And that being the case, he's released. And when if he were to stay in that state forever, he has got rid of the rebirth process. Because he has lived his life to what it should have been. Because everything in life becomes memory. The personality is just a memory. I was this, I am this, I want to be this. I was this, I am this, I want to be this. That view is gone. Because he is indeed not viewing it as his feeling or her feeling. It's just the feeling. It never asked anybody's permission. Shall I bring pleasurable feeling for you right now? Or shall I bring a painful feeling right now? Do you like it very strong or do you want it very light? It was not asked. So that not being there is no personality. So now when this feeling comes the personality. So then I can say, I need, last time when I was in this place, because now he can go to the past, bring out all the chittas which were enjoying suffering and all that. Last time I was there on this trek, I enjoyed these, now it has changed, they have built a home that they shouldn't have done. All the stories are starting there. He is not accepting the way it is. Because he thinks he was there last time, now I am there this time, and I will be there next time. So past, present, future are there in the mind. In the every chitta, it has past impressions, present impressions, and future expectations. There are hopes. There is this yearning for enjoying that pleasure, which it thinks it had through feeling. So when the feeling is gone, meaning the feeling doesn't go really, the feeling is transcended. The person doesn't care about the feeling any longer. He stays in equanimity. And once he's in equanimity, he is what he is. Nothing else exists. except for that existence. So it's unconditioned. It is not conditioned by any feeling whatsoever. You cannot define it because you cannot feel anything. What is not felt cannot be explained. Only those things which are felt can be brought into concepts. And that is beyond feeling, cannot have any self as a personality. So when this personality doesn't exist to experience that, what would he explain? What did he saw? Nothing. Because the release is from the personality, from that emotions which created this personality. So this personality with emotions being gone, the original self pervades everything. It's bright, it's there in every given form, every given shape, every given color, every given smell, every given sound. It's there everywhere. There's not even a single place where it is not pervaded. And that is release or mukti. That's all it is. I think I finished the whole story. Too difficult? Too easy? I don't know. Or did I explain it well, or did I confuse it much more than what it was?
You have explained it. What you have explained today is connected with what? The Bhagavad Gita or the summary of all discussions so far we had?
No, this is what the Chitta Shuddhi is all about.
Oh, this, okay, part of that Chitta Shuddhi. Okay.
So this is the final outcome of the Chitta Shuddhi. So what we discussed initially was the Bhuta Shuddhi. Then I started explaining about the dependent origination of Buddha. This is continuation of that.
Okay.
In terms of personality.
Yeah, this is good. That's the only doubt I had throughout when you were explaining.
Yes, so you will not find any distortions between Bhagavad Gita and Buddha and Shankara and all that. It's all the same.
There is no distortion. All the same. Samanvaya was there across.
Yes. Any other comment from Padma Shri, Sri Hari, Lata?
It was a long session in one stretch.
Yeah, it was a flow, so I didn't wanted to cut the flow. I wanted to finish it off.
Yeah, okay. So the trick is to not to, what do you say, get over the feeling.
Yes. Don't identify the feeling like I am feeling.
And it is not even not I am. Also identify what kind of feeling it is.
Yes, that see if you can't identify, because it will automatically identify the personality is that Chitta already knows the feeling, so you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So you have three kinds of Chittas which always come. So one is this neutral Chitta, and one is this Akushala, which is the sinful kind of thing, and another one is Kushala, which is the divine kind of Chittas. The neutral kind of Chittas is what we call as conscience. They don't have feeling. So what you are doing is, then they say you, the Chitta, this neutral consciousness is just watching over the other two and not identifying itself with that. The moment it identifies, oh, this is painful, so it has gone into this dvesha immediately because it doesn't want. So it will say, I don't want, because that is how I gets generated then and there as a personality. then it is pleasurable. Again, it gets into the wrong side of the equation, which is lobha. So you will have kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. That is on the sinful side of equation. Same kind of pleasurable feeling will come when you do dana and all of that, going to worship and offering flowers and doing 100 different things, either ritualistically or otherwise spiritually, whatever it is, you get the pleasure. But that is again gives you a punya phala. Okay. But what I require, or what is required, not I, what is really required is the neutral, which doesn't go with pleasurable or painful. They just remain as is condition. So it doesn't identify with the feeling. So the painful feeling will come. Don't think that you are doing it. It is a painful, that's all. If at all you want to name it, it is painful. Yes, if you are feeling a body pain, you're also feeling a mental pain. Body pain is that you're sitting for long hours, so you're having a body pain. Body ache is there. You can't say, no, 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 I don't think so, I have an ache. No, that is not true. You are feeling the pain. So don't identify yourself, this is my pain. It is a pain. If you feel or somebody feels or a cancer patient feels, it is all the same. It's the same pain. The intensity is more in a cancer patient and the intensity is less in you and me right now. That's the only difference. If it is pleasurable feeling, and so it's a pleasurable feeling in the body. So you're feeling healthy. That's a pleasurable feeling. And the same thing with everyone, whether they're very health addicts or otherwise, they are having pleasurable feeling. In the same way, in the mind, you can have a painful feeling in the mind, like this COVID is there, so people are going to come and block the road, and they will put your in quarantine, and all those are painful feeling. There is no real corona coming into my home, but the very act of putting a barricade says that I am contaminated. So I am having a mental pain now. There's an agony of getting rid of that. So instead of that, what I can do is I can say that wherever the barricade is put, it's a painful feeling. Wherever the barricade is removed, there is a pleasurable feeling in the mind. So it's the same with everyone. It's not my feeling. It's just there. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask Corona to come and infect my apartment or something like that. It just came and it goes away. So I'll not fight with that. So that is the neutrality. So once I'm on the neutral side of it, mind establishes in that. The chittas, when we say mind, the chittas will all be neutral kind, neither going on the left side, which is the going towards the akushala kind of thing, and right side, it is the kushala. It doesn't do both. It just stays in the center. So once in the center, the person is released. Released in the sense that there's no personality.
To analyze this chitta, how it works, I just wanted some your help to understand. I was trying to understand recently in that Calicut, this flight accident.
Correct.
I was just thinking what was happening in that pilot's mind. For example, now everybody thinks he's the best pilot, and the conclusion is he has saved a lot of life by taking timely actions. That means switching off the engine. Maybe he might have emptied the fuel. That's the reason there was no fire, and many people saved. At what cost? He himself died. So if I analyze this one, he becoming a purest chitta. When he was doing that, 2 rounds around that Calicut airport, and he might have thought, okay, this is the best duty I should do. This is what is possible now. And then there is no possibility to go to next airport also. Then while landing, he knew that this is very, very tough one. So he landed. Then during that time, he applied brake, or brake might have failed. We don't know. Then it came out of that compound wall and fell down to some 30 to 40 feet below. And then it is broken into two pieces. During that time, he becomes suddenly blank when the brakes are not applying. Till then, he thinks it's under his control, say so-called chitta, mental control. The moment it is not there, he left everything. Okay, during that moment, it's like a blank situation for him. That time, the accident happened, he died there, maybe nothing was known to him. I can assume that he was purely into deepest spirituality because not connected with the I. I-ness is gone. Then, after that, everything is a history. What happened? Now it's all memory only. People analyze in various ways. So I want your explanation there that how the whole thing worked. Spirituality, I in and I out. Finally, easy like played a role like Arjun there in the battlefield. What happened there overall? If you analyze, he's a good person, that is known. His personality was very good. He's there was a good purpose in his thought and very meaningful connection with all employees. All passengers there, and sense of belonging because he knew that it's a Vande Mataram, that mission, great one, with a lot of intimacy and the great relationship with the co-pilot and all those people, and huge hope he had that he can save, and he was accepted by the whole, I can say, the world.
Yes, so now you see all the chittas which have come are of the kushala kind. Okay, so the body anyway would have broken, so he didn't fear whatever he was doing. So the chittas, instead of going into negative, they have gone into positive. Okay, so what would have happened after death? He would be immediately be born in some heavenly existence. That chitta will be born in that place with that kind of body suitable for that kind of role what he is going to play, because his chittas were of that kind. What if his chittas were neutral, neither taking the right or the left, and stayed in the center? He's just doing his duty of what should be. Then there is no rebirth, because the chittas have to be having some expectations either in the positive direction or in the negative direction to have a rebirth. So if the person is already dead as a personality itself, then no rebirth. If the person has a positive personality, then rebirth in the heaven. If the person has a negative personality, then rebirth in the hell. And the personalities are all chittas.
So Vilas, I need to leave now.
Same here.
Yeah, maybe we can discuss
tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Oh yes, we'll do
Okay.
that. Okay then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.